Hello everyone. There's a question. There's something somebody wrote that I read today that really inspired me to want to talk about this. The person said, if our ancestors are still relating to the palace, I will tell you yes, our ancestors are still relating to the palace. But I think that question should be, are our ancestors still relating to us as an Edo people, Bini people to be precise? Are our ancestors still relating to us? Our ancestors are relating to those that want to relate with them. And they are not relating to those that have abandoned their ways, they have abandoned them. They are not relating. It's when you seek something, that's when you find that thing. If you don't seek it, you will not find it. Let's just look at it from a Christianity point of view. If you're a Christian, you go to church. Maybe even if you don't go to church, you pray, you meditate, you read the Bible, you kind of get yourself closer to God. So that means that you connect by prayer, meditation, and so many other things. That is how you connect. We need to connect. We need to know how to connect to them. We no longer relate. We have left the path. We no longer even speak the language, even if our ancestors live in our language. We don't speak it anymore. We're no longer proud of our own heritage. We no longer preserve. We no longer promote. There's so many things we don't do. We are trying to modify things day by day. We are holding on and sticking to the ideology or the narrative of a foreign land that we don't even own their culture. I will tell you that I cannot relate to the ancestors of Europe. No, because they are not my ancestors. My children can relate to the ancestors of Europe and also relate to my own ancestors because she or he has that blood that runs through her vein. She can relate to both. But I personally, as an Edo woman, I can only relate to my ancestors. But I cannot relate to the ancestors of the European country. That is not my place. I cannot relate to the ancestors of another tribe because they are not my ancestors. I only have the connection to relate to my ancestors. And how do I relate to my ancestors? By communicating, by speaking my language, by looking into the things that my ancestors have done, by appreciating them, by wanting to save their legacy, by wanting their legacy to remain for thousands of years, by creating my own path and my own legacy. So that is how I relate. So you have to find out how you relate with yours. And if you don't find that way of how you relate, then you haven't found yourself yet. You see so many of us, many people, I do think that Edo people doesn't understand their own heritage. Many of us don't understand. We just go into the world, we struggle. The language we seems to understand is all money. But we are more than money. We are what more than money? We are precious. Our blood is royal. But we don't get it that we are spiritually rich already. But we don't understand it. We need to feel spiritually rich before we can physically feel rich. Haven't found our spiritual path. Finding your spiritual path doesn't mean that you're going to live your Christianity. No. People don't understand it that apart from you being a Christian, you will force an African. I said on one of my videos, the day you are born as an Edo, you came with your heritage. Your spiritual path came with you. You didn't decide it. You were born into it. It's not a choice that you need to pick. It's not like you were born into you were born into this world and you need to decide whether you're going to be a Christian or a Muslim or this. As long as you are an Edo, you have no choice. You've been born into tradition. And the tradition that you've been born into is now your own legacy. Whether you follow the tradition or you don't follow, you're born into it, period. That is it. It's your heritage. So you have to learn how to connect. Connecting doesn't mean that you have to have a bohemian arranger. Connecting doesn't mean that you have to have all the gods. Connecting doesn't mean that you have to be Ohen. Connecting doesn't mean that you have to be a local priest. Connecting means that you connect just like the way you connect. You feel spirit. Accept it that, okay, I'm from this place. We are traditional people. We are spiritual people. We have things that we do and things that we forbid. We have things that we can modernize and things that cannot be modernized. That still remains. Let me not try to be someone else that I am not. Let me accept my own identity. By the time you start accepting your own identity, your own path, your own state, where you're from, the things of that state, you look back to your own ancestors. Everybody have their own ancestors. Then we have a common ancestors, which is great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents, our bloodline. For example, I tell you that my bloodline is the Isiemero. That is my bloodline. And those Isiemeros, the generation, those are my ancestors that I share with all Isiemeros. Then I have another ancestors, which is my father, my grandfather, my grandmother, all those things. Those are my own ancestors. Or the ancestors get wider and wider, just like the way it was in ancient time. We have family members, family blood, by related by blood and all. And that is how it gets wider and wider. So it's like that. You have to find way to connect. Connect, I will tell you again, doesn't mean that you have to carry all the gods with you. Connect doesn't mean that you have to leave your Christianity. Connect means that you have to find how to relate with them. You have to find how to accept your self-identity. You have to find out how to play a role. You have to accept yourself first. You have to be spiritually rich inside you. Then the physically rich can come. You'll be content. But the moment you cannot find your path, it's difficult. We know that not everybody, I have to say this before I end this video. Not everybody, some are that connected. Some people have a very, very strong, how will I call it? Energy. I normally call it energy. So if some people have strong energy because of who their ancestors used to be. And they are supposed to be playing some key roles which they don't know. Because they have not been able to seek the path. Even if they have the signs of the role that they are supposed to be playing. But one way or the other, they deny themselves the opportunity of relating to that and decide and said, oh no, this is not my path. And those people have a lot of difficulties. I have to tell you, those people have a lot of difficulties because they have not been able to follow their path. There are people that are not varied. They are just among the followers. They are followers. And there are people that are leaders. The followers are just they are supposed to follow the leaders. And those of you that are born spiritually leaders mean the way you're supposed to be the one relating, praying, relating to the ancestor. You have the connection with them, but still yet you feel like, no, it's not my job. It's not my job. That's not me. It's not my calling. It's not this. There are people that have the calling to preserve heritage. There are people that have the calling to promote heritage. There are people that have the calling to defend our heritage. There are people, so many people have the calling. I was just on my own path. I never thought about the tourism sector. It was not in my mind. I never even wanted to wake up or think about it. Some people ask me, this line that you have you ever, is this something that you planned or is in your family line or something? I said, no. It's just me waking up to feel like, I want to do this. No reason. At the end of the day, inside me knew that it's my calling to do this. What I am doing is my calling. I find it out that I didn't plan for it. But I followed my spirit. I followed every connection. When I speak sometimes, I might have something to speak about. Sometimes I hold it back because I feel like, oh, maybe this thing is too strong for me to talk about. It's not a topic that I'm comfortable with. But yes, maybe it's the topic that I am supposed to bring out. But I hold it back and feeling like, oh, maybe this topic is too strong for our people to accept. Because I know that many people have moved to another stage. So sometimes I try to also modify my own post, my own comments, my own thinking to fit with the era that we are now. So you have to find out your calling. Calling doesn't mean that you have to have billions of naira or you have to be rich. You know, people believe that, oh, they want to have that calling like billions, they are rich, everybody's respecting them. No, some callings are different. Let's try and be spiritually rich. The moment you're spiritually rich, then you start to say that physically you're rich already. So let's embrace tradition. Let's embrace our culture. Like the person said, is our ancestors or are our ancestors still relating with the palace? I will tell you, yes, they are still relating. But the question should be, are our ancestors relating with us? I think that is the question for every Edo person to ask themselves. Is your ancestors, are they still relating with you?